Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, seekers and sojourners of truth, the 144, chosen of the chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are. I greet you in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I'm Aquila Texture in the divine energy essence of it all in this celestial earth vibes that I'm in. That's like another name I have for myself. I am celestial earth, coming to you soon. And this is the celestial earth experience. Right? And as usual, I'm here in the 5D energy, in the 5D body, the 5D consciousness, in this whole divine energy essence of it all. Reporting to you live from the fifth dimension. So with that, as usual, I bring you the news to infuse if you so choose to, in whichever way that it works for you. Open your crowns of understanding. Let's pour in this light. Speaking of crown, I'm in my crown. It's my crown chakra day. So I'm in my crown. Wait till you guys see the calendar. Ooh, this calendar. We're really working on it more now to wrap it up, to have it done by next month is the deadline. So this calendar for this new year, it has the crown days. It has the days like the chakra days. Like there's multiple calendars, but this is one that, you know, has me as Tuesdays are my crown chakra day. Although I know when you see this, it'll be Wednesday. For those who know me, I'm pushing time. And when I'm pushing time, I usually am a little bit behind everybody else. So while this is evening for everybody else, this is rising for us for the next day, for the previous day. So with that said, happy whatever day this is for you. It's all about pushing time and getting out of the matrix. So with that said, let me go into what this is really about. This topic, speaking of 5D, I want this for us to be understood about those who are expanding their consciousness into the fifth dimension and understanding the atmospheric body of the throat chakra. I want to speak a little bit about that because this is like a throat chakra experience, but I'm really speaking about 5D as the atmospheric body and what that means for us. And I'm adorning also my crown because it's the wisdom. It's representing the wisdom, and the wisdom in the wind. You see the trees are going. I had some good wind earlier. But there's wisdom in the wind, meaning in the atmosphere as the trees move. Look at it like the trees almost represent the energy body, the heart chakra at its fullness, the bounty of the trees. And as the wind moves, it is the atmospheric body. It is the wind that speaks through the trees. The breeze of the trees are a conversation in itself. And that conversation is a translation that we must understand. So this kind of came up today as we were talking about how they just like cut down trees. We think about trees that are thousands of years old, and thousands of years old, and they come and they cut it down because they want to put up a pool, or they want to put up a condo, or they thousands of years old. These trees that are older than their parents, their grandparents, generations old, and you just come in and want to cut it down and move something out of the way that has been there. And I say it because I'm speaking about how we tend to not respect the wisdom, respect the elders that come before you, right? This is why a lot of these generations, they tend not to want to respect. And even if, because I know the elders be tripping sometimes, we really don't have elders like we did back in the day. I understand it, but it's a point of practicing the presence, practicing the laws, the universal laws that say pretty much honor thy mother and thy father. I'm not talking about the commandments. I'm talking about laws, like the laws of Ma'at, the admonitions of Ma'at that hold us accountable for the things that we will not do and should not do, things like that. It shouldn't even be a commandment, right? It is really something that we know that exists. It's the wisdom, the proverbs, as I've mentioned before, not here, but I actually wrote about it. The proverbs are the wisdoms of that as such. So I say that because there is something that we're missing. There's wisdom in the wind. And as I heard us talking about it with the trees, like this energy that's already here, the elders that are already here, and yet the people that come up don't want to honor that wisdom. It's the same way energetically. Energetically, there is wisdom in the wind. And it's always been this way. This is nothing new under the sun, right? Think about it. The trees, the plant life, and all of that, that's 2D consciousness. And 2D consciousness was obedient to these laws way before mankind was put here. So this wind that we're talking about, this atmospheric body where we are at the times now, at a 5D level where we can attune to what's in the wind because we have become evolved. We're at this level now, but it's not nothing new. People talk about it like it's new. We were just not evolved enough to access it or to tap into it. Somehow, 2D, although we're in 5D and we may say we're more than 2D and 3D, 2D, which is the earth, the plant life, the minerals, and all of that, they have no choice but to be obedient to the wisdom because they are just being, they are just existing. And wherever they are existing, they are obedient to the atmosphere, right? Already it's in the wind, but it's in the wind, it spreads its seeds all across the earth, and the earth, it complies. The earth is compliant with the wisdom of the winds. As the winds speak, the earth listen, right? And this is why sometimes as a woman, sometimes when I do my sacral work, I'll put my hand on my womb and I'll say, I'm listening to the womb, you know, allow the wisdom, allow the earth, listen to the womb, listen to the earth. But the earth, it's like a two-way conversation. The earth listens to the wind, right? That brings all of the wisdom. So the earth, the trees, the plants, they all do what they're supposed to do according to spiritual laws that already exist. The masculine, feminine energy components, which I also call the receptive and the creative activity, which is what I call receptivity and creativity. Creativity is a masculine component. Receptivity is a feminine component. And this is the dance that has been happening for thousands, millions of years before us. Who are we to come now and want to have our own way? So when I look at that, I say that to my spiritual people, because a lot of us want to be spiritual, but we want to have our own way. We want to still be spoiled. We want to have the information, but we want to do it our own way. When the earth was in 2D consciousness, whatever is in the wind, the earth responds. The earth complies. The earth is very obedient. It's very intuitive. It's very intrinsic. And this is what we also have to return to. This is why we're being called to return to that matriarchal energy, because that matriarchal energy is the Mother Earth type energy that we're being called to return to embody what we need to, bringing ourselves into the 5D, the fifth dimension. So it's like listening to the wisdom in the wind. It brings us into 5D. That's what's ushering us in. The 5D experience is just because we're now that evolved, right? We've gone from 2D, we've gone to 3D as mankind has existed at the 3D level, and we've gone through the shadows. Oh, we done turned 3D upside down, and we've been carrying the shadows of 3D all this time through the ages, through the shadows of the ram, the shadows of the age of the ram, the shadows of the Piscean age. We have perverted the ways. As Yeshua has said, why must you pervert the ways? He brought the Piscean age, but people take it and run left field. And so you have perverted the ways. You don't even understand the Piscean age that Yeshua was bringing the proverbs of wisdom for you to understand, overstand, and understand that you are fishers of men. You are your own fisher. You seek after your knowledge. You no longer need a shepherd. That's what that age, there was a time and place for everything. The time and place for the age of the ram was the shepherd. We no longer needed the shepherd. But guess what the shadows did? Got mad because people not listening to me. So in their ego, age of the ram is also, it was supposed to be good ego, but it fell into the bad ego and in the shadows because they want to hold control. They want control. Listen to me. We want to be your shepherd. We want to be your leader. So when we moved into the age of fishers of men, where you're supposed to fish for your own knowledge, be believers onto, in a faithful way, onto truth. And even that was perverted because we didn't get rid of the shadows. So anyway, I say all that. I don't want to go too far into the ages. I may have to do something separate on the ages. But I say all that so that we understand, overstand, and understand what it is that is happening. There's so much, there's a multi-complex, multi-dynamics of what is happening. But mainly focusing on this wisdom, listening to the whispers in the wind, right? It's not just the ancestors in the wind, but there is wisdom in the wind. And this wisdom is what I call the energy, this total connectivity, like the crown. The crown chakra is about total connectivity, right? And I said crown chakra there. Actually, I'm on my third eye, but you know, since the third eye is below the crown, I'm still in my crown. I'm in my glory. So I correct myself. I'm actually on the third eye, the third eye day. But however, it's total connectivity, and even the third eye is about bringing the duality into a connectivity, bringing the contrast. And that's something you'll hear me talking about more too as well. Bringing the contrast, the duality into a complementary, because the contrast is there for you to find the complement. It's not there for you to be in opposition and be battling yourself. It's to find the complement. So the energies in the wind, the wisdom, whatever it is, it's for us to take in, to listen to not want to have your own way with it, right? And so we can't be like those that cut down these two, however old, thousands of years old trees just to build a swimming pool. Like, that's very inconsiderate to the earth. It's very superficial, very egoic. You know, we have to move beyond wanting our fancy little toys and having things our way, but listening to the wind, because the laws are in the wind, right? There are spiritual laws that are already there. So we've moved into 3D, 4D, but we haven't been listening to the wind. We haven't been evolved enough that we're hearing, just like 2D. 2D consciousness was wiser than us because it just complies. But we, because we have free will and everything, we don't just readily comply. But this is what this 5D energy is asking us now. Now being in 5D, 5D is like the fifth element. And so if you even look at it by like the chakras, going from the bottom, the root, the sacral, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you get to 5, you're at the throat. The throat is about the atmosphere. We are in throat chakra season, right? And we're here for a reason. And it is opening us up. A lot of people are being invited to look into the atmosphere. Look into how you express yourself. Whatever is in the atmosphere is what is being expressed, what is coming from off of us energetically. Remember, the fourth dimension is more of the energy body. It's more of being in the heart, living from the heart. And so this is why you hear some people say we're in the unity frequency. 5D is about unity and things like that, because it's expanding 4D, right? It's really 4D that operates from a fourth dimensional or a fourth element from the heart, right? Which is the wind, right? And now, so when you get to 5D, when you get to the fifth element at the throat, the wind is rising. The wind is rising into the atmosphere. It becomes the atmosphere. So it's not just the wind and the energy, the energetic current that is moving through the earth and things like that, but now we have an atmosphere. And so that 5D is and I'm not just talking space atmosphere and out in the air. I'm talking atmosphere means what is being expressed in the energy, if that makes sense. How are we expressing ourselves, right? And so we're at a point, this is why a lot of us have to be held accountable right now, because we're at a point where the energy is saying there is no excuse. This is why ignorance is no excuse, because it's in the atmosphere. And we've evolved to a certain level where now we have to tap in and listen to the wisdom of the wind. We don't have a choice. That's what I wanted to say. It's like, we don't have a choice now. Just like 2D had to comply and didn't have a choice, it's kind of like that's where we are now. You don't have a choice. We're in 5D. We're in the atmospheric body. So now you don't have a choice. Whether you could try to play blind if you want to, but you're going to reap what you sow. You're going to reap the consequences and repercussions quickly. Remember, we're in accelerated frequencies and you are responsible, able to respond. We are held responsible and accountable for what we see, what we know, what we feel, and we're feeling a lot now. As we move through the fourth dimension, which is about more of the energy and feeling the energy in the energetic field, and then into 5D, it expands that. So you can't say you don't feel it. You can say, oh, I don't have proof, but guess what? Those excuses are not working anymore, people. The excuse of, oh, well, I'm going to wait, or where they didn't actually say this, or they didn't actually do this. So if you're waiting on someone to say and do something, you are fooling yourself, and you're playing with the energies, and you're not respecting the wisdom. The wisdom in the wind, the atmosphere is there at a 5D level. It's there, and we're held accountable as more evolved souls that we are, whether we want to admit it or not. We're there. And so the energies are all around you, and they're saying, listen to the wisdom. Listen to the wisdom in the wind. This is 5D. So I say that to say, while listening to the wisdom in the wind, it brings you more if you adhere to it, because all of us are hearing it. It's the energetic field. We have an auric field around us. We're speaking through our auric field, right? The translation is in the auric field. And I'll probably share my poem that I wrote with that had to deal with speaking of how we're in the energy field and how the translation begins when we listen to the wind, when we hear the whispers in the wind, and it's like that's when the translation begins. That's like my favorite part in the poem as it came through to me, and reminding us that this is how we translate that energy field that we have. This is what's happening. And so this is what the throat chakra energy is about. And that's why we really got to work on our throat chakra, as I've been speaking about. As we're in throat chakra season, even that is helping us usher ourselves into the atmospheric body. If the fifth element or the fifth chakra is about the atmospheric body, and we're in the fifth dimension, right? Atmosphere, the fifth dimension is about expression of creativity or creation, experiencing creation in time through expression. That is the 5D, and that's how we're showing up. It's not just speaking, it's how you are being, how you are showing up in your life, world, and affairs. When you say that you see something and you witness something, how are you holding to that truth? Do you know truth, but then when you go to work, you act like you don't know because everybody else doesn't know what you know? Or you know truth, but when you're around family and friends, you kind of act like you don't know. You have conversations with people and you entertain energy, because this is a thing. What you laugh with, please know this. Be careful of what you laugh with. Laughter is like signing a contract. Laughter equals agreement. Right? What you do with others, you sign contracts with their energy. You are co-signers to that energetic signature that they are building a contract for. So if you don't stand in the truth and say, nope, that doesn't match with me. If you're around people and you hear them discussing something that you know is not resonating with the truth of your being, it's not truth resonance, and you go along with it, you set yourself back. And you block your throat chakra, and you set yourself back in the fifth dimensional level. Like, this is not the time for that. This is the time for us to raise our vibrations, listen to our true heart vibrations, and really be so respectful to the wisdom. People who can't do this, they don't know how to respect elders. Regardless of what the elders are doing, we have to hold a level of respect for them, with them, honoring them in all ways. And that is going to help hold us accountable to these energies. That helps bring us even more into the 5D. The more you comply with the wisdom in the wind, with the atmosphere, the more you adhere to it, and you yourself operate from a true place of authenticity and truth, the more you usher in to the 5D, right? Because a lot of people, they're getting fried. They're getting fried on the light grid. And it's like, because you want, like, you doing what you want to do. You're not listening to the wind, and you get fried. Something's going on in your life, and you wonder, where is this coming from? Especially my truth seekers, spiritual people. Don't get it twisted. Don't think you're gonna slide down a rainbow of love and light, right? Know that there's responsibility. If you don't adhere to these truths, when certain things come up, you're gonna get fried on the light grid, because the light grid is activated. A lot of us are doing the work, and we're activating the light grid. So every time. So we want to take the perspective of, as I said earlier today in my conversation, live in this world but not of it. And so the people that are having a hard time, it's because they live in this world and they're of it, and everything they do is according to the love of this world, right? So, and I mean very worldly things, superficially worldly, right? Honor the earth, respect the earth, right? Don't confuse that with being worldly and being of the fallacies of this world, of the misappropriations of this world, because this world spins its web of lies and misappropriation. So you cannot be of the world, but we can be in the world. That's coexistence. We can coexist and we can be in the world, but not of it. So we got to take ourselves apart, listen to the wisdom, tap into your throat chakra. Right now is a time where we should really be. That's why I said drop into your heart. Some of us got to go back and drop into our heart. Activate your heart. Get it to your high heart activation. You know, take some deep breaths and just circulate your heart. Circulate, circulate. I do this very basically with my children all the time. You know, we tell them, take a deep breath, reach up, take a deep breath, bring it into the heart, and circulate. As you exhale, blow it into the heart. To plug it up, get what you need to get from the atmosphere, and bring it into the heart and circulate, circulate, so that you're moving that energy all around you. And when you bring yourself into your higher heart, right, there's more things than that. I'm just giving you a little example of what to do in a quick case scenario. Take a deep breath and anchor in your heart. But also, when you do get to anahata, higher vibrations, then you can come up into your heart and you can truly exist in the 5-dimensional plane. You can truly exist in the wisdom of the wind, in the atmosphere. Everything is recorded in the atmosphere. What you do, what you don't do, what you say, what you don't say. And that's why I believe that's how I even started my poem. Something about what you don't say. What you say is neither here nor there. Because what I know, what I see what I feel. And this is clear, because it's all about what we feel in the energetic, realm, and in the atmospheric body that is all around and all through. So, really look at the wisdoms. What I really want to ask us to do is please honor the elders. A practical thing that we can do is honor your elders. No matter how wrong they are, be in a certain level of respect with them, just so that we are holding ourselves accountable to the wisdom that may come with them. Even there's some kind of wisdom that comes with them, because they live here longer than you, and experience teaches wisdom. So they have experience, whether good or bad. You can learn from their good and their bad. Listen to them. Even if they sound off, listen to them, so you know what not to do. Let them talk, and listen with compassion in your heart. No judgment. You're not judging them. You're just listening. And with discernment, you look at what does not resonate with you, what is not true. And you know, okay, see, they did that, and I'm going to learn from that. And I'm not going to do that thing. And in gratitude, in an attitude of gratitude, be thankful for their misunderstandings. Be thankful for whatever it is that you gain insight from with them. But always hold the respect. Always hold the respect to honoring any type of wisdom that they come with, right? Because whatever they come with experience. So they come with wisdom. And I say this especially to our young people, especially those of you who are born with your Pluto in Scorpio, because I've talked about that. That generation where your Pluto is in Scorpio, a lot of them have a hard time respecting the elders, which means respecting the wisdom. If you can't respect the as within, so without. If you can't respect the elders on the outside, you can't respect the elders on the inside, right? And that's your wisdom. my crown chakra, my third eye. These are my elders. I got to listen to my elders. If you're not listening to the elders on the outside, you're not listening to the elders on the inside. So think about that as well too. I don't care how much you think you're listening to yourself. You're not. You're just not, because you won't respect the one on the outside. It's like when Yeshua said, how can you love my Father that is outside there when you can't even love your brother whom you can see? So we have to practice utilizing that with whom we can see. Look at how people are reflecting to each other, right? We're all a reflection in the atmosphere or body. Like I always say, life is a reflection of you. So whatever is showing up, it's a reflection. And right now, I've noticed that as I'm watching people, I'm looking at people reflect at each other, on each other, and not really noticing what they're reflecting. You know, they're looking at each other, and we're pointing out flaws in each other. We're contrasting. Oh, that's that, and you have that. But we're not looking at each other and saying, but you know what? We both got on a shirt. We both got on this, let's say, the same shirt. We're not willing to look and see the similarities. We only look and see the differences. We only see the similarities when it's convenient and it feels good. I'm talking about those similarities that are not comfortable. We're not willing to look at that. So we look at the contrast and we don't realize that those two things actually complement each other. And it's for us to find the complement, because wherever there is the complement, there is the common ground, right? There is the oneness. When you find the complement of the contrast, you find the oneness. But it takes a certain humility to have that. So I say this so that we come to ourselves, we come to one another in a state of humility. Humility is what's going to make you listen to the whispers in the wind and stop listening to, leaning on your own understanding, as they say, right? So not wanting to dissect every little thing. Like, it's like we want to be scientists. This is something that I was saying as I'm looking at these reflections, and not wanting to reflect properly and look at ourselves and not really see ourselves for who we are. We want to ultimately project. Like we're deflecting. We're not allowing ourselves to reflect. We're not having a true reflection with one another. And if you don't reflect, then when something comes up, when you see the contrast and the differences, we're supposed to reflect. But if we don't reflect, then we deflect, and then we project. We project our differences out on other. That becomes the judgment. You don't do this. You don't. And I'm talking about our spiritual people too. We can't be wanting to point at them all the time and you don't do this. Well, we have to ask ourselves, where's the reflection in this? How does this show up in me? Let me put this under the microscope. And the microscope is truth principles. The microscope, oh yes, thank you, Spirit. The microscope is the whispers in the wind, the things that are in the atmosphere that have always been. It's always been here. So now it's time to put it under the microscope. Now it's time for us to look through the lens of that microscope, which is the whispers in the wind, which is the truth principles. That's the microscopic lens that magnifies. That's what's happening. Thank you. That's what I wanted to touch base on. So what's happening is it's magnifying. It's magnifying whatever is around us that we're not really paying attention to, or we're avoiding. In the atmospheric body in 5D, welcome to 5D. When you're in 5D now, it's being magnified and everything is put under the scope, the microscope, which is the wisdom. The microscope is the truth principles, spiritual laws that have always been here. Always. Let's understand that for millions of years, like that tree that they want to cut down that has always been here. So it is with the atmosphere, with the answers that are in the atmosphere. All that is coming through the sun, the codes, the translations, it's all there and it's being magnified. So we are having to face it, and make sure that we look at that and look at it within the contrast to find what's complementary. Stop deflecting and projecting and have a true reflection. Right? So that when we look in, we can see ourselves deeper into me. I see. This is why we have to see what we need to see in the other. Because the more I see that in you, then I see something in me. And you help point out to me what I need to fix, because I'm not seeing it in me. That's why I need the mirror. That's why I need you. Life. That's why life got to be happening to you, to bring you. to bring the truth to you, through you, so you can see you. Into you, I see me. That's the true reflection. So we want to have that. And when we don't, like as I was seeing, and I'm gonna close out with this, as I was seeing that we have, we dissect, we pull things apart, and if we're not having a true reflection, then ultimately what's happening is you're living your life like a scientist. Not that there's anything wrong with scientists, because they help us explain the ethers, right? But it's not when we look at it separately in contrast. But I say that to say this, in an opposition contrast. It's to look at scientists as more complementary, but that's besides the point. Why I'm saying this is because when we're deflecting and we're not reflecting, we objectify everything out there. Everything is an object. It's outside of us. And when we objectify, then we have a scientist approach only. And we, in that sense, we are not, there's a word for it. It's like when you're objectifying it, you are dissecting your soul, so to speak, right? Rather than you're neglecting your soul's design. There we go. That was the word. So when you objectify, you're having that scientific approach. You're being a science into your own soul's design instead of being a priest for your soul's incline, soul ascension, right? So that's, wait till I share this. I should have brought it out here and shared it with y'all, but no worries. The next one, I'll bring it in and I'll share that poem with you, because that's how it ended, about your soul's incline and really having a soul ascension. So we're here to have this soul ascension experience. Let's get into it. Let's not delay. Let's listen. Put your ears to the wind and listen. Listen to the wisdom. Practice respecting the wisdom that is within us, honoring our elders, teaching our youths to honor the elders within, so that we can do what? Honor the elders within our own minds and souls. Be a part of this experience. Don't be a bystander on the side. Welcome to 5D. Come on inside and let's vibe. With that said, love, love, love you all. Please remember to like, subscribe, share if you dare, comment. I know some of you have been commenting. Thank you. The new subscribers, thank you. Let's keep building this community and having this go out to, because that's what it's for, to reach out to those who may be feeling alone, to allow us to reach them in those remote places energetically, so you could see we got a whole, soul tribe of our own, sojourners of truth. We're all here. So share, comment if you dare, and I will reply in the comments below. I will reply. Those of you who have commented in the last two, I'm about to get to those, so my apologies on the late reply. I do my best to keep up with it, but I've been putting together this book, so that has taken up some time between the book and preparing for this calendar to be finished. I do have to take that time. So with that said, each one reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start, start in your big, beautiful heart right here. Shine your light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Peace, love always, and light to you all. Peace and blessings. Crowns up.